So only what people can see is above the surface. But what they can't see is the work that's been done. The root system is the know-how, the process, okay? Humility, the way you guys handle more than anybody in the city. One step at a time. Right? But the root system's in place. The root system's in place.
It is week number 12 of this National Football League season, and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco, alongside Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. I am Bill Jones. It is a noon kickoff Texas time on Sunday. It's the Cowboys and the Washington Commanders coming off a Monday night game, going into a Thursday game. There's not enough hours in the day, I would imagine, this week, right?
I mean, we're used to it, but this is always a challenging week just from a preparation standpoint. I think our players have done a tremendous job, getting in here, after the Monday night game, trying to start that process of getting their bodies back. The coaching staff has done a great job staying ahead. So we have a good plan for Washington, and then after we get this win, we got to turn the page and get right on to New York.
That's right. And let's talk about these Commanders a little bit. And, of course, a head coach that you're very familiar with, having Dan Quinn, having been here the last 3 years. And, of course, you know him even before that. What's it like going up against a Dan Quinn coach team? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Dan's team, even going back to Atlanta, always play with great energy. And I think their defenses are, similar from, what Joe Witt and Dan are doing there now in Washington. So they're playing very well. I think the complement that they have on offense is definitely a challenge. I think it's different than what we've seen. So our defense will be challenged, but they're doing a good job of taking care of the football and taking it away. Just all the basics, and this will be a fun afternoon of competition.
All right, let's talk about their defense a little bit. And a guy you are very familiar with, Joe Witt Jr., the defensive coordinator, who started with you, I think, going back to 2008 with Green Bay for about 11 years there, and then 3 years here. You've gone up against each other in practice a lot, haven't you?
Oh, definitely. And Joe's an outstanding football coach. All the way back, grew up in a football family. Obviously, his father's a Hall of Fame coach, college coach, and so I've always enjoyed Joe. Very competitive, has a great football mind. You can see that he's taking the system that was here in the past and has put his variation on it. And he's been aggressive with it, and they're playing very well.
And on defense, they've got a couple of your former players there, and Dante Fowler with 8.5 sacks on the season, Dorrance Armstrong with 3, but they're two key guys on their defense.
Yeah, definitely. Their starter's very productive. Fowler is, just plays with tremendous energy and definitely not only just with the pass rush, but he's doing a great job crashing the C and B gap on particular rundowns and things like that. DA is just picked up right where he left off. Super consistent, just a really, really good football player all the way through, on all 4 downs. So, they've been a big part of their defense.
All right, so what strides did you see out of your offense when you look back at the Monday night game from the week before with Cooper Rush and the improvements made?
I think, we started really 3 weeks in a row, but, the balance that we've been wanting to attain in the first half, I felt like we were able to get that. The run game was not what we needed it to be, and then we got into a pass-heavy game. So, I think it's important to learn from these last, couple opportunities. But, Cooper was definitely in command of the game. I thought he did some really good things in the pass game, and we need to continue to strive for that balance.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Up next, we get the media perspective from David Moore, the Dallas Morning News.
Yeah, you kind of just go out based on what you see on film, and they are who they are. It's we're familiar with their scheme a little bit, and they'll have wrinkles. That's what they do, and they do a good job of mixing it up. It's just good defense. Everywhere Coach Quinn's been, and Joe Witt, they produced.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues now here inside the Globe Life studio. Bill Jones, joined as usual by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, Sports Today, DFW.com. By the way, you loyal morning news readers out there, you know that David got an exclusive with the quarterback this week. Dak Prescott talked with you.
Just trapped him in a room and he couldn't get away, I think was the...
But it was good getting his insight on what all went, the whole process into having his surgery and the recovery from it.
Yeah, not that far. And again, I know fans a lot of times get frustrated or have a hard time following why a player does or doesn't have surgery. Why don't you know right away? Dak kind of talking through his journey and how he arrived at it, I think is a pretty good example of the levels of conversation that are going on internally that we never know about unless they decide to share it. And in Dak's case, there are 3 tendons that attach to the pelvis, attached to the bone. 2 of the 3 tendons in the hamstring were completely torn off. The other was separated, but was within 3 centimeters off the bone, which means maybe surgery isn't necessary. So then you talk through those options, but he sought 3 other opinions, 4 total, and basically they were all saying, well, you may regain your strength in 6 weeks, but you can't even start rehabbing for 4 weeks. And there's no guarantee that final tendon is going to hold once you start really putting pressure on it. And then he was leaning that way, got 1 more MRI, and that MRI showed in a week of just walking, the additional stress on the 1 tendon that was still connected moved it even closer to that 3 centimeter mark. So at that point, it was like, of course, surgery is the only real valid option here.
And it does appear that he will be good to go at the start of the offseason program next spring. Let's talk about the relationship, head coach Cowboys, head coach Commanders. It is interesting, Mike McCarthy going up against Dan Quinn here.
It is, and you know, I think this was the classic pairing where both men, it helped both of them at times in their careers where they needed it, you know, and so often in coaches you go, oh, well, they've been in it forever, so they must know each other. A lot of coaches don't really know each other. You know, my understanding where there were some intermediaries that knew both Dan and Mike and said, look, you guys would hit it off. You would work together really well. You share a lot of the same principles. And then it came available after Mike's first year here where it made sense to talk to Dan. Immediate connection. They even would box together for a while. I don't know if that continues, but I don't believe it does. But no, they were formed very close, and both men talk about some more parts of their craft that they were able to get from talking to the other.
All right, David Moore of the Dallas Morning News. We appreciate it, and look for more exclusives of SportsDayDFW.com. Up next, we exclusively got Will McClay to break down some of those weapons on the Washington offense.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
More frequently, recently, he's trying to get in my head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But no, he actually helped me get some tickets to the game, too, for my family. So that goes to show you what type of coach DQ is and type of players coach he is, regardless of where you at, whether you're playing for him and things like that. He's always about his guys, and that's my guy. So, you know, it's going to be fun playing against him. I know he's going to have them rallied up. He's probably going to say it's shark week. It's fight night. We got to go to round 12. We got to knock him out. Rivalry game. I know his whole spiel, but I'm Tommy Jones tonight. That's how I'm looking at it. Like, I'm Floyd this week, so it's going to be a fun game.
Cowboys players getting set to take on Washington. We've got Will McClay here. We got the telestrator behind us. It's time to break down these Washington weapons on offense. How about we start at the running back position? They got a good one out of Alabama, Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, what he is a big, strong back, but he's got balance. He's got contact balance. He's got strength, and then the ability to make cuts. So we're going to look at him here. They got a light box here. All right, he does a good job. He sets up the blocks, right? He allows that one to happen. Then he puts his foot in the ground, and then the contact balance to run through all these tackles. Tough guy to tackle.
And they did that out of a two-back set with Austin Eckler next to him. They also have another back there. He's the quarterback. His name is Jaden Daniels, and he can run with the football.
Absolutely. They do a great job here with the RPOs and with the zone read. Here's a zone read. Going to compromise the defense. They're going to give you all kind of eye candy. You see the defense moving around. But a little more eye candy here. It's the zone read. He's reading the end, and then his legs, using his legs to get you a good 35, 40 yards downfield, and big play with his legs.
Yes, and that'll win you a Heisman Trophy, too, at LSU, too, because he can do it through the air, too, and it's that run threat also that sets up some of the passing game for him.
Yeah, I mean, here you go. Now we're going to get an RPO here, all right? What they're going to do is they're going to give you the look. He's going to see they got two high safeties. The safety's going to rock down. Now he's going to know that the safety, where's the safety go? Boom, there's the window, and now he gets the ball in Speedy McLaurin's hands, and they get another explosive play.
Terry McLaurin, by the way, he's working on his 5th straight 1,000-yard season. What a career he's putting together, and he's got speed to burn, a 4.35 guy.
Yes, and again, you just talk about this young quarterback and the relationship with 17. This is a third down situation. They expect the defense to score out the sticks. He throws it before he gets even because he knows it, and then this is about a 60-yard throw in stride to Scary Terry.
All right, he is scary. All right, let's go to defense. Another guy who's scary is the guy that they acquired in free agency who knows that defense so well, and that's the middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, okay, you're going to look at here, it's like the quarterback of the defense. Quarterback's communicating there. He's communicating, getting the defensive front set. All right, this is a third down play. You talk about his wisdom. He gets everybody set. He's lining everybody up. Then they snap the ball with his back turned to it, but his feet match the backs, and it's a big stop for the defense.
And been doing it for so long. I think 9 Pro Bowls and counting for him. All right, a couple of guys we're familiar with lining up on the right side here, and you got Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah, they do a really good job running games. These two have done it for a while together here. They took the band to Washington, and here we go. They're going to do the same sort of game here. It's going to be set up by Fowler, Armstrong coming inside, but what Fowler does a really good job of is playing off of people and closing on the quarterback. He's got 8.5 sacks.
That's right. Dorrance Armstrong has 3, and Will McClay, we appreciate it. The head coach rejoins us when the Mike McCarthy Show continues in a moment.
They're definitely a special offense, but also, Dan Quinn's over there, so he knows the type of guy I am over there, so it's going to be very interesting.
They got a lot of playmakers. Obviously, my guy Noah, my old roommate from college, man, he's having a heck of a year and creating a lot of plays out there for those guys. Terry is always, wrecking havoc out there. So they got a lot of playmakers. I like the running back too, man. He's having a heck of a year. Robinson, obviously he was coming back from, the stuff that he was dealing with. So, man, just from top to bottom, they got a talented roster. So. There ain't nothing that I feel like those guys can get out there and do, but, the good thing about it is we got talented guys, too, on our side. So it's always going to be, come down to just being disciplined and guys making the plays and their opportunities count when they come to the time. So looking forward to it. I feel like, we're getting better and better each week, obviously. I feel like, we got a strong chance of going out there and getting this job done this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues here inside the Globe Life studio as the coach rejoins us. We take a look at this Washington Commanders offense, and of course they've got a Rookie of the Year favorite now at quarterback in Jaden Daniels, coming off his Heisman Trophy season at LSU last year. Pretty big impact that this guy has made in his first year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's playing for an excellent coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury, and I think what they do is a challenge for any defense. But his ability both to be dynamic in the run and the pass has been a real highlight of their offense. He can make all the throws. I mean, he can hit the quadrants, and and he has that one big play win in his belt too with the Hail Mary. So I think that's always nice thing to have as a young quarterback, finding ways to win. And he's been exceptional since day one.
And especially for a young quarterback, the way they are taking care of the football as well. They are tops in the league in giveaways, only 5 giveaways on the season, 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles lost as well. It's much like what Dak Prescott did as a rookie coming in, where he just had 4 picks in a full 16-game season.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's, it's so important. I mean, it's a number one, ball security, on both sides of it. And, they're definitely doing a good job taking it away too. So, but yes, I think that, speaks volumes about Jaden as a quarterback, the ability to come in and that's always the toughest task, is taking care of that football.
And the weapons on offense, Terry McLaurin is pretty special at wide receiver, and you got the veteran at tight end in Zach Ertz too.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job with the roster, mixing, with the guys that have been there in the past and also the new guys. But, they have balance. They got 2 really good running backs, both guys, and that's a really good 1-2 punch. I think they both complement each other very well. Offensive line, it's got some new faces, but yeah, this is a dynamic challenge for us.
All right, you've been depleted in various areas of your team. I want to cite a couple of guys on your defensive line who logged so many snaps last week. Oso Odighizu, I think he had 57 out of the 64 snaps, and also Chauncey Golston holding down the fort there on that defensive line.
Yeah, definitely. Those guys are playing a ton of ball for us, just hanging in there, grinding it out. So hopefully we can, balance that out a little bit, but just been impressed with the way those guys have grinded all year.
And I know you're hoping to get some players back. And Brandon Cooks is a guy that is on the offensive side that has been out here at practice this past week. And what's his influence been like just while he's been out? And I know he's been itching to get back, and now the opportunity might be there for him.
Definitely. I mean, Brandon's one of our leaders. He's on the leadership council, and obviously brings a dynamic playmaker to our offense. So, I mean, just the light that shines off of him and what he brings to the classroom, to the practice environment. So hopefully he can go through a full week and be able to play on Sunday.
And then another guy, Marshawn Nealand, is a guy who showed a lot the first 6 weeks of the season, then goes down with the injury, and he looks like he's getting closer anyway.
Yeah, he's got a chance. Once again, just got to finish this full week, but it's great to have him back. He's been an animal in the rehab part of it too. So. It looks like he's getting close to be ready to go.
All right, we will wrap up this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment.
The hardest part, I mean, obviously the injury happened and knowing that not the rookie season that I wanted, but, we still got time left, so make the most of it.
How valuable is this time?
It's pretty valuable to me. Definitely something I hold close to me just because, you only get one rookie season, one real chance to really prove yourself. And I just feel like I ain't do that yet.
My mindset is to go out there as if, I ain't lose a step. Been putting in the work, with the training staff, strength coaches. So that's my mindset going into it, is just, let's go.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. And I'm going back to the well with an unsung star this week. I did this earlier in the season. He was a player of the month one season, special teams player of the month. I'll go with Brandon Aubrey. The consistency and the achievement now, the latest achievement for Brandon Aubrey, he now has 2 straight seasons in which he has 10 field goals or more with beyond 50 yards. I mean, it's just amazing what this guy has done. We see it week after week, and a guy that you really count on.
Brandon's an amazing talent. I mean, just to see him do it, out here week in and week out. Obviously had the long one that we took off the board. So, you just, for a kicker that young, for myself to have the confidence in him, I think speaks volumes. So. He just is so consistent, and that ball just explodes off his foot. So I think that's a great choice, Bill.
All right. And by the way, Washington's kicker, Austin Seibert, is 25 out of 27. And one other little note on kickoff returns. They acquired Austin Eckler, and he's averaging 30 yards a kickoff return. So he's a threat that you got to contend with this week.
No, and the weather will dictate that, and will probably be some opportunities come Sunday.
All right. Well, good luck against those Commanders on Sunday. We appreciate all of you joining us here for the Mike McCarthy Show, and we will see you again next week as we will be wrapping up the Thanksgiving Day game against the New York Giants.
We just come here each and every day, man. Just try to win, man. Just find the attitude, try to win games, man. That's all there's left to it, man. You know, we lost sixth grade. So man, we just try to get a win, man. Just trying to feel that feeling again, man. That's what I can say.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.